And we are live. Welcome back to the working week. This right here is Car Con Carne, done in captivity, done in quarantine. Quarantine Con Carne, sponsored by our dear friends at Siren Records McHenry, 3902 Main Street in McHenry. You know, it's been a weird year for everybody. And I realized one of the things that I was missing, one of the things that was going to help me just deal with this perpetual shit show, this perpetual dumpster fire of a year, was more access to music. I realized it had been years since I had a cassette deck, a CD player. Really, like my computer doesn't even have a CD player anymore. And I needed to build a component system. So I leaned on my friends at Siren and I just said, here's the budget I have to work with. Here's what I'm looking for. Help me out. They set me up, and I swear to God, I've been filled with joy being able to play cassettes and CDs on top of vinyl. They totally set me up. But if you're just going for music, they got everything there too. Tons of used and new stuff for you to rifle through. You can spend the day there. Siren Records in McHenry. Thanks to them. My guest tonight, as we begin a new week, it is JD Kostyk. Kostyk?
That's right. Yeah, Kostyk.
Yeah. Kostyk. This is why we asked before the interview, and here we are. JD Kostyk. He is the producer and director of an event happening tomorrow night. And Dave Bovyn?
Bovyn.
God. Dave Bovyn, one of the performers at an event tomorrow night. It is the Nonessential Project happening. It is a live streamed event. It's a musical supergroup of local musicians who are spending their time devoting their talent and resources to raise money for the local brewing industry, which obviously has been hit pretty hard this year, as everything has, but the brewing industry has been hit pretty hard. And guys, I want to talk about your event. That's why you're here. But before we talk about that, let's put things into context. The local brewing industry it's struggling right now, right?
Oh yeah. All the service industry is it's been hit pretty hard, as most people know. Obviously, especially with the stay-at-home orders and then the restrictions in capacity, it's really bad for especially for local brewing industry, because it's like an artisanal. Like these are small businesses that only have limited capacity as it is. So if once you start restricting indoor capacity, it's like a lot of them don't even have enough money to keep a big tent open and heated during the Chicago winter and that kind of thing. So it's been pretty rough. Yeah.
And even those that can, I've noticed myself that, for most of the breweries in the suburbs, they're kind of off the beaten path because they have to be in little industrial areas. So it's not so easy to just go do curbside pickup like Portillo's or whatever,
So what are your individual connections with local brewing? Like, why is this a passion point for you?
Dave and I both play as a duo called the Powder Toastman, and then we also play independently as solo acoustic musicians. And breweries are easily 50 to 75% of the venues that we play at. They're just more. It's a more intimate environment for music. There's a community involved. It's not like you're just playing at the big, sports bar venues. Not that those aren't cool, like we play plenty of those too, but like it's just a different thing. And there's a community and there are people that follow you because you're playing at these smaller venues. It's like a really like a localized scene that's going on. And that's kind of what inspired us to do this project. And the other musicians that are involved in the brewery scene as well. I mean, we all play at restaurants and we play at venues and, private parties and all these kinds of events. But I mean, the breweries are like one of the main staples. And that's been one of the ones that have been hit the hardest in terms of, again, capacity. These places don't have a large capacity. So when you start cutting that, then they have to cut. They can't afford to have music most of the time, whereas if you have a bar that has like 300 people capacity, if it's cut down to 100, you still might be able to afford a musician that come in. So
Giorgio, who's watching on Facebook Live, says, love the band name, the Nonessentials. So let's talk about a little bit about that. Who all is in this band, this super group you've assembled, the Avengers that you've put together for tomorrow night?
Oh, well, obviously, Dave Bovyn, myself, JD Kostyk. We have Billy Denton, Cheryl Rohde, both of which we've played with before. And then we have Echo and Ransom, who are Colleen Wild and Jason Benefield. And we all kind of play in the same circuit. We've met each other through basically playing at these breweries, especially Skeleton Key Brewery, which is the one that we're at, hosting the live stream at tomorrow night. So it's we just, you know, we developed just a natural relationship with a bunch of people where it was just this organic the scene going on that was just, it's just a beautiful thing. And we want to make sure we can do all we can at this time, you know, to keep things going.
So explain what tomorrow's live stream event is. Is it just you guys performing a concert? What else is happening during this?
So it's kind of, it kind of grew into like a kind of a big multi-medium kind of thing. Basically, in a sense, it's like an extended music video show, kind of like you would see at like PBS or something like that. But we have a live element of it. And this and a lot stemmed from Dave and I. During the first lockdown, we were doing a live stream charity events weekly from Whiskey Hill Brewing, another brewery out in Westmont. We were doing weekly stream benefits where we were getting donations, and we were donating half our tips, and then the brewery was matching. And we raised like $2,500, $30 or $3,000 to different charities. We would choose one each week. So it's going to be, it's part of it's the live stream element where we're talking about what's going on. We have some interview sections with the musicians, interview with the Brewers Guild. Right. And then there's live performances, and there's also going to be like a music video segment of it. There's a little bit of comedy involved too. So
yeah, the different artists all pre-recorded a video for a song. So everyone has a song throughout the night that we've pre-recorded. And then we have hosts that are involved that have done almost like skits, kind of like a sketch comedy thing in between the different videos and raffles and interviews and things like that.
Yeah. And then one of the most I overlook it often, but we actually have like a theme song that we all get. Like the whole idea, like when I came up with it originally was, I was like, what if we did like a We Are the World event, you know, where we have a bunch of musicians singing like all these different parts, you know, kind of, you know, tongue in cheek, you know, not like super serious, but so if we got together, I wrote the music for a song, I wrote a chorus, and then we all got together and wrote a bunch of lyrical verses. And it's basically about how we can't get together, we can't hang out at our, you know, favorite breweries and drink beers together, you know, in the same way that we did before. So we wrote this song and we recorded it, and that's kind of that's the climax of the video, without giving away too much. But I mean,
yeah,
I think
it's all song, original music. All of us put original music together for this.
Now, are you on your best behavior? Why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you like? There it is. I knew it had to be right off camera. I knew there was a beer nearby. I mean, if you guys are really true to your stuff, you've got a beer within arm's reach. Okay, I feel better about this whole experience. So what does the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild do? Like, you're raising money for them. Are they a central repository for funds, and then they distribute? How does this all work?
Well, I mean, they're more of actually, what I was kind of surprised the more I got into it, like when we picked out this venue of charity, was I found out that they do a lot of their job is lobbying in Springfield for the industry, which is really crucial right now with all of the restrictions and then the weird gray areas on restrictions and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, like, they're one of the reasons why the breweries were allowed to have outdoor areas and like seating and like, you know, that kind of thing. So it's so that's one thing. They assist. So
advocacy, representation, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's obviously promotion of the industry. I mean, usually they have like 2 or 3 large events. I mean, they're basically, there's I think 100 something brewers in the guild in the state. That's almost all of the breweries in the state are in this guild, and they usually do, again, like 2 or 3 events during the summer, you know, spring, summer, fall, that are just enormous events that, you know, basically didn't happen or happened virtually, which is not quite the same thing. So so we're trying to help fill the gap there, you know.
The advocacy is the biggest part, I believe, because there's who knows what's going to happen in the next 6 months. And in order for these places to be able to make money, they have to be able to be open at some capacity, at least to do curbside, or if they have heaters or tents, whatever everyone's doing, but they've got to be able to get some money in.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're doing this. What time is this happening tomorrow?
So it's at 7 p.m.
Oh, it's well,
That's all right.
for the people who are listening to the podcast after the fact.
Yeah, right.
7
Yeah,
o'clock on the 1st of December.
It's 1st of December, 7 p.m. You can go to the nonessentialsproject.com. And that's a site where there's going to be links to, there are links right now, but they're not live. There's one link to our Facebook page, the Nonessentials Project Facebook page. We're going to go live on Facebook, but then we're also going live on YouTube.
Great.
So there'll be a separate link to that. So depending on if you're not on Facebook or if there's another platform or if YouTube's just better for you. So we're going, live at 7 o'clock. Again, we're going to start raffles right away. We're actually already taking raffle tickets and donations right now. If you go to that website, the nonessentialsproject.com, you can go there and you can find out more about like a little bit more detail even than we're talking about, and you can follow all the musicians and all that stuff. So
I love it. I've often compared the craft brewing industry to the independent music scene. I see a lot of overlaps, similarities from everything from marketing to audience building. As people involved with craft beer and music, is that a fair thing to say?
I think that's 100% correct. And I think that that's what really drug me in as a kid who played in local bands in the early 2000s. We had quite a scene here in Chicago. So it was very tight knit and a lot of people would go to different shows and, you felt that sense of community. Yeah. And I felt that I kind of lost that as I got older. And I started playing at these breweries, just doing some covers, some originals and things like that. And it just really was such a relief to see that people still care. And it's not, it's really a great community of people.
Community is the right word. That's exactly. And I feel like you said it, all the breweries pretty much are in the Craft Brewers Guild. There is that sense of support. And while there is competition and you always want to be the best, everyone seems to have each other's back. Metaphorically speaking.
It's great. Like there've been multiple like gigs I've played where I was playing for events where they were all together, and they're all collaborating, and it was like cool. And it's like, there is that it's like a friendly competition, it's like, you kind of want to outdo the other person, but it's like you realize that you're all in this you're in the scene together, you're lifting up, because it's like,
that's it.
Nobody that's into it. It's kind of in very much like you said, like the music scene, where it's like if you're into a specific band, there's other bands that are related to them, and it's like you might be into one more band than one band that more than the others, but you're probably going to go see the other ones, or they're going to be opening up for the and then it's
exactly.
like it's such a crossover that that they all support each other.
Did you realize when you started down this road for putting this together tomorrow night how much of a pain doing a live event like this is?
Talk to this guy about that.
Oh yeah, I'm still numb to all the but at the same time, like I said, Dave and I were doing from basically April through the end of May, 2 months straight, we were doing live stream events, and before that I had only done like a couple live streams here and there, and then that turned into just a way of doing things. And right now, like I'm a full-time musician. I gig, but obviously gigs aren't that big, but I teach a lot. And it's like, I wasn't teaching live, or I wasn't teaching online before. That all flipped. So it's like, there was a steep learning curve, especially at the beginning. And especially if you're doing it, like we're basically doing it like DIY, like it's punk rock style. We're putting all this stuff together, on our own, and like trying to figure that out. So that's actually kind of inspired me to do this. I mean, it was like, all right, I want to kind of see what we can do with all of this technology and all the social media and the networking and all that stuff together.
So before I cut you loose, as beer enthusiasts, without singling one brewery out, because that would be unfair to every other brewery, what kind of beer are you looking for when you go to a local brewery? Are you IPA guys? Are you going for a stout? What are you looking for when you're going out for beer?
You go first.
I gotta think about it. That's sorry. I mean, I probably start on IPAs a lot. I still like that. I kind of like to vary it up. Usually like I don't stick with one. And I feel like I'm seasonal too. Like right now it's stout season, some porters or some brown ales and stuff like that. And then you get into the summertime and you want some light, get a little light thing going, maybe some fruit beers and things like that. So kind of all over the place too.
I'm pretty strict IPA.
You hold fast to what you like.
Yep.
All right. So the website for people who want to check this out, and they should buy raffle tickets, and they should. Craft breweries are everywhere now. They're so much a part of our communities and our identity. Like, we need to support them. They're in it with us. So what's the website people should go to? Oh, I have it on the website.
We got it. Yeah. For the people listening, the Nonessentialsproject.com. And again, the stream is tomorrow night, December 1st, Tuesday, December 1st at 7 p.m. It's going from about 7 to 9 p.m., but you want to catch it early because there's quite a few acts. There's some comedy in there, some information, and you want to get your raffle tickets in. They're $30 for the first ticket, $10 for each additional ticket. But if you just can keep $5, $10, that helps us out great. And hopefully we, see everybody out somewhere in person sometime, at a concert. That would be nice. That's what we're going for here.
JD, will there be nudity in the live stream?
That's up to Dave. I'm not sure what he's planning, but
we'll see how many IPAs flow through the night.
That's it. That's the answer. All right. The Nonessentialsproject.com is where we can watch this and learn more. It'll be streamed on YouTube. It'll be streamed on Facebook. Contribute what you can. Buy a raffle ticket if you can. It all goes back to our communities, really. Guys, I think you're awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, James,
Thanks for having us.
Very awesome.
Thank you so much.